Hi, everybody. It is such a pleasure to be here tonight, an honor, and I almost wasn't, because with a name like Suni, I'm not sure they directly get the Irish heritage, but we do go back to Donegal and Tipperary, so I am thrilled to be here. When thinking about this tonight and how to introduce someone like James O'Donnell, I did what many of us do when we're trying to get to the heart of the Irish-American community, and I went to a search engine, and no, it wasn't Google, it was my 3 children, who have the wonderful Celtic names for the record of Devon, Jenna, and Liam. And I asked them, how do you recognize the Irish in the man? Which of course they didn't get at all. So I said, what does it mean to be Irish? Immediately, I got 3 responses: green, magical, and leprechaun. All right? I pointed out to them, quite obviously, that they are Irish, and yet they are neither green, nor magical, nor leprechauns themselves. So what was next up? I got short and I got cute. All right, well, Jim O'Donnell is a lot of things, ladies and gentlemen. But short and cute ain't in the list. However, we'll give a nod then to our friend Dan Keegan, the other city honoree here tonight, who is both short and cute. All right, so keep going, kids. What do you got? Funny, fun, and larger than life. Now we're talking, right? If there is anyone in this room who possibly doesn't know Jim O'Donnell, he is all of those things. And I say that I have yet to meet someone on Wall Street who has not had a pint or 2 or 10, or a bottle of wine or 2 or 10, or maybe a world, whatever WWF wrestling match stands for, I'm not sure. But he is the most social person I have ever worked with and had the honor to call colleague. My oldest daughter, she's 16. I would say 15, but she's always says 16. And she came up with family. Yes, Jim is very much about family. I have never met a man more dedicated and generous with his family, and I've never met anybody whose family means so much to him than Jim O'Donnell. And then Devon turned to me and she said, you know what, Mom? Hardworking and resilient. Yes, she's studying the potato famine and the emigration of Irish to America, but it was a fair point. One does not get to be the CEO and president of securities for NatWest first, and then HSBC, or the global head of relationship management sales at CitiGroup, which is an incredibly difficult job and one that obviously takes a lot of hard work to get there and then to maintain that role. Resilient is an interesting one. Anybody that lived through the financial crisis, which I assume everybody on the Wall Street 50 has done, but certainly those at CitiGroup know that it was not an easy road. And I will personally tell you that it was Jim O'Donnell who helped get me and this firm through this very, very difficult time. There are over 60 people in this room representing CitiGroup tonight because of Jim O'Donnell, because they wanted to be here for him. So. Yeah, right? I will add my own last one, which is friend. I met Jim really just 5 or 6 years ago. I'm not sure when we both took our new positions with the firm at the beginning of the crisis, I think, as people looked at it. And he has quickly become one of my very best friends in the world, and I really love him dearly. So in the end, we come up with funny, fun, larger than life, family, hardworking, resilient, and friend. Ladies and gentlemen, Jim O'Donnell.
Wow. First of all, thank you for the standing O. Second, I'm so glad Neil didn't introduce me. Christine, that was fantastic. Before I start, tonight I want to talk about a bunch of things, and I will not be as eloquent and as truly historic as both Martin and Peter were tonight. But I want to talk about friends and family. But before I start, have you seen this article they wrote about me in the magazine? Well, I want to quote something. The tall, ruggedly good-looking... Wait, shh! Whoa. This is my night, let me finish. The tall, ruggedly good-looking, and handsome Jim O'Donnell. Just because it's never happened before, I'm going to say it again. the tall, ruggedly good-looking, and handsome Jim O'Donnell. Thank you. And when I read that, I realized something. It is so refreshing to see in today's society such journalistic accuracy. And I commend Irish America magazine and its publisher, Neil O'Dowd, for its commitment to truth and honesty. And Neil, may I say to you, you are one fine-looking son of a bitch, too. Oh, I wasn't supposed to curse. Mom, I'm so sorry. As we start, I am deeply honored to ask to deliver tonight's keynote at the 16th Annual Irish America Magazine Wall Street 50 celebration. My sincere thanks do go to the entire Irish America Magazine staff, Neil, Patricia, Sheila, Tara, Kate, and anyone I haven't mentioned, I thank you very, very much. I am also very honored and incredibly impressed by the size of the crowd and to be in the presence of so many distinguished guests, friends, amazing colleagues, family, and government officials of Ireland and Northern Ireland. They've already been recognized tonight, but I want to do the same to recognize a few people. To the First Minister, Peter Robinson, and to Martin McGuinness, what you are doing and what you've accomplished is an inspiration to the entire world. And I, for one, want to join everyone here in congratulating you and thanking you for being icons of peace in the world. To Ambassador Anderson, welcome. The role of ambassador to a major country like the United States from Ireland is so important. And to be the first woman ambassador to this country from Ireland is an enormous, enormous thing for the world. And I think incredibly exciting as we all look in the companies we work with or the businesses we have. Diversity is so important. And at over half the world's population, it's about time that women were recognized in the most senior positions in the world. So many congratulations to you. Also, to the CEO of Invest Northern Ireland, Alistair Hamilton, I wish you much continued success as you continue to attract Citi and others to invest in Northern Ireland. And to the Irish General Counsel, Noel Kilkenny, welcome, and we wish you much success here in New York. To my colleagues at Citi, wow. All of you that are here tonight, I can't thank you enough. I love this firm, I love my job, and you are all the best. Thank you. Oh, yeah, Neil said I had to tell some bad jokes. There'll be a few later on, but I wanted to do some serious stuff first. Tonight is a wonderful celebration for the 16th year, honoring 50 of the most influential Irish on Wall Street. I've been privileged to be honored a few times before, never in this position and never sweating bullets for weeks on end going, what the hell do I say? And then missing my meal, which as you can see, that wasn't a bad thing for me. But to my fellow honorees, your accomplishments are incredibly impressive. I congratulate you on your achievements and for being honored here this evening. You truly are stars in the industry, and I wish you much success in your future careers. Tonight, I want to talk about several things for the next hour or two. Oh, sorry, my name's not Neil O'Dowd. I want to talk about my family and being Irish. I want to talk about Wall Street, its people, its importance in our society, and our responsibility to ensure that trust, confidence, and respect are brought back to the forefront of how Wall Street is perceived going forward. First, my family. Most of us here tonight are the products of two great countries. Not all, and we'll come to that in a second. The United States and Ireland, or Northern Ireland. And we're the products of our parents and the generations before them, all of which created the foundation of our lives and who we are today. Actually, I have the right page. For me, that is an incredible combination that taught me the love of family, the importance of hard work, to be proud of my heritage, and that within this great country, the U.S., that for immigrants of all ethnic backgrounds, all things are possible. This dinner could be for Jewish Americans, Italian Americans, and onwards. But tonight we celebrate the Irish in this country. But it's equally true that this country gives everyone the opportunity, and I feel incredibly blessed and privileged to be a part of that. Now my family. The O'Donnells emigrated to the United States from Galway and Kerry in the early 1900s. Like many Irish families, we have been policemen, firemen, nurses, worked on Wall Street, and clergy. In fact, my aunt, Sister Kathleen O'Donnell, is here tonight, and I would ask you to give her a round of applause. As is the case with the Irish in this country, each generation has been focusing on building a better life for the next. I have been very blessed. The two people I admire most in my life, and I didn't get paid to say this, Mom, are my parents. They, above all, taught me the importance of the family, the value of working hard, and giving back to the community. I am thrilled that they are both here tonight. My mom, Jean, is a wonderful, dedicated mother and was a registered nurse for nearly 50 years. True, you're really old. having just retired in the last 2 years. I remember her working the night shift, going to a hospital, leaving at 10 o'clock, coming home at 7 o'clock in the morning to get us off to school, and then being involved in a ton of community organizations, the PTA, supporting the Girl Scouts for my sister, a parish council in the local parish, etc. And later in life, while still working full-time, going back to school to get her own college degree, and another inspiration. She spent the last 20 years of her life as a beloved elementary school nurse at both a Catholic and a Jewish school. There she perfected both Irish and Catholic guilt. And things such as, what do you mean you're not going to your cousin's wedding a few weeks ago? Cancel your vacation to Bora Bora. I did not. It's good to be older. Or the guilt trip after I've spent a good 20 minutes in a fine restaurant looking at the wine list, deciding between a Napa Valley cab or a Brunello or a Barolo. She goes, why are you spending this much money? He'll have the house red. After I mumble something under my breath, I drank the damn house red. My dad was the same. Well, no, not a nurse. Although he might look good in a white dress. But he is a great father. Was the baseball coach, the football coach, the president of the Board of Education. He switched careers after 20 years in the insurance business to become one of the most respected training executives on Wall Street. He'll be celebrating his 82nd birthday next week. But if I gave my mom some grief, it's only fair my father gets the same. Dad, please stand up. Now, this is a Wall Street 50 dinner. Many of you here, and certainly most of the Wall Street 50, and many of you in this room, have had to take the Series 7 exam, which is the entrance exam to Wall Street to be licensed to be a trader, a salesperson, a broker. I would like you to know, for better or for worse, that my father, along with his colleague who passed away many years ago, Joe Ross, wrote and designed the first Series 7 exam on Wall Street. Good. So Dad, I do love you, but
I'm sure you do.
hey, this is my night. So, Dad, on behalf of everyone here who has studied for hours and taking that grueling, tedious, 6.5-hour God-forsaken exam with 250 questions, and waited anxiously to see whether our careers were ending or starting, just sit down. But seriously, you know, I love you both very much, and what I try to show, of course, is that that's what all families are about. You know, giving back, caring for their children, or beyond, and I'm very blessed on that. The second thing I want to talk about is Wall Street. I have truly had the honor and privilege to work in this industry for nearly 30 years. And I've worked at Citi for the last 15. And this is not meant to be an advertisement, but it is by far the best job I've ever had and the best firm I've ever worked for. To say I love what I do would be an understatement. Despite the challenges of the last few years this industry has faced, there's a lot of great things about it. This is a vital industry to the world's economy in capital formation, trading flows, wealth management, and a critical part, as we learned tonight, of global economic development. Citi, my firm, is one of the leading firms in that regard, with businesses in over 100 countries. In Ireland and in Northern Ireland, as we heard from both Peter and Martin, we employ 1,200 people in Belfast proudly, and over 2,200 in Dublin. Dublin and Belfast are two of our most important centers for our global banking, transaction services, and technology efforts. We process billions and billions of dollars of trades a day through both of those centers. In turn, and I think we heard this tonight, our firm hopes we are seen as leaders in supporting the economic development of both Northern Ireland and Ireland, something we are very proud as a firm to do. But clearly this industry has been tarnished by the global financial crisis, and all of us and all firms have a responsibility as leaders to do all we can to restore confidence and trust back into the system. At Citi, as frankly at all major financial firms today, we have embarked on a program focusing on responsible finance, with an emphasis on conduct that is transparent, prudent, and client-centric. It is focused on always protecting the client's interest, managing risks, and adhering to the highest ethical standards globally. Nobody wants what happened to happen again. And as leaders, all of us have a responsibility to be proactive in rebuilding the trust that was lost in recent years. But as I said, this is a great industry with people who are passionate, all of you, dedicated, hardworking, and in my view, and I believe this after 30 years, highly ethical. They are also some of the most compassionate and generous people to charities and nonprofits around the world I've ever met. We should never forget that about the Wall Street people. A few years ago, Bob McCann, the CEO of UBS Americas, was honored here. And he said, now we, meaning all of us collectively on Wall Street, need to show our clients, shareholders, and regulators we can do the right thing every day. That was true a few years ago. It's completely and more so true today. The Wall Street 50 of this year, years past, and future years need to play a vital role along with all leaders in the Wall Street business to make sure that happens. And I have no doubt that we can. So finally, once again, I am deeply honored and humbled. Okay, the SEC's on their way. Once again, I am deeply honored and humbled to be invited to be tonight's keynote speaker and to share the honor of being one of the Wall Street 50 with so many accomplished Irish men and women. And in closing, for all of you, a blessing, which is kind of a combination of things I put together, not original. May you all live as long as you want, never want as long as you live, and as you slide down the banister of life, may the splinters never point the wrong way. Thank you very much, and God bless.